I thought I would go ahead and review a knife known as the Knife King Emperor. Knife King is not a very well-known brand of knives. I have only seen this knife company on Amazon. I bought this knife for about $50. Now, the company claims that this is real Damascus steel. Now, I was a little bit skeptical when I first read that because usually Damascus steel knives can run from between $100 and $300. This is, of course, as I said, was only $50. I thought to myself, this is a really gorgeous looking knife, and the reviews on it were pretty good. I thought to myself, if I buy this knife and I'm disappointed by it, then oh well, that's, only $50 I've lost. If it's a great knife, wonderful, I'll order another one. But in order to find out as to whether or not this is really a good knife, I decided that I should do a torture test on this thing. Now, of course, a lot of people are claiming that this is not real Damascus steel. Honestly, I would not be that surprised if it really wasn't actual Damascus steel. And some people are claiming that this knife is not even full tang. Some people are claiming that the blade only goes about 2 inches into the handle, and that the rest of the knife is attached to this end by a steel rod of some sort. Now, I want to make sure that this would make a good shit hits the fan knife. I want it to be good for skinning, good for batoning through wood, so I have been doing a torture test on it. The first thing I did was I batoned through a thing of 2x4 cedar. It did pretty good that time. And then just to really test it, I, batoned my way through a 6x4. Now, I noticed that there were some problems with this knife, seeing as how it's supposed to be Damascus steel. I've noticed there's a bunch of nicks on it now, and there's also what looks like a crack that is forming at the very end of my knife, and it's going to be kind of tough for me to show you guys because my camera, it's not very good. I want to try and zoom in right here, and unfortunately I don't think we can really see it because of my crappy camera. I apologize, my other one broke. Let's see if I can do better. Hold on a sec. Should be right at the end where my finger's at. Okay. Little black line, and unfortunately I don't think we're getting lucky. But yeah, I am going to continue doing a torture test on this knife to see as to whether or not it is real Damascus steel. And at the very end, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to get a saw and I'm going to actually saw off this part of the handle right here to see whether it's really full tang or not, so that you guys know as to whether or not this is actually a quality knife, and as to whether or not you really want to have something like this, in your survival kit and whatnot. But anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I'll let you know how the test turns out. Okay, so I have officially finished my torture test on the Knife King Emperor, and let me show you what has become of my knife. Yep. That there is the tang. And as you can see, the bottom part right here is a screw, which is tightened into the pommel. And the other problem is that this part right here, as you can see, looks nothing at all like the blade, the hand guard, or the pommel. And so I have very high doubts that this is actual Damascus steel, because what I did was I went on to Google Images and I typed in full tang Damascus steel knives, and usually what I got was images of a knife without any kind of handle on it, and it showed the tang, and the tang looked just like the blade and the pommel and the handguard. Now there were a few images I saw of full tang Damascus steel knives where the full tang did not have the same kind of style as the blade did. I'll be honest, I don't know that much about Damascus steel, but I have very high doubts. I don't see why they would make the pommel look like Damascus steel by giving it these etchings, yet at the same time, just make the tang look extremely bland. And so clearly, I mean, these are two completely different pieces of metal right here. And not only that, but the reason why I have high doubts about this being Damascus steel is because while I was continuing my torture test, I was cutting what I believe was either cedar or pine wood. It was a giant 6x4, and my knife bent out of place, as you can see. Now, I will be honest, I was doing a lot of heavy work on this knife, and when I took my stick to baton through the wood, I actually started smacking the tip of it to see how strong it really is. It probably wasn't the smartest idea, because as you can see, a knife with a tip like this probably isn't the best for batoning through wood, but I figure, if it's Damascus steel, it should hold up. And it was only through this one chunk of wood that I did it through. So would I spend $50 on a knife like this again? And the answer is no, I would not. For $50, you can still get a quality knife that is full tang. Like, for example, there is the Buck Special. That is a very infamous knife you can find anywhere, even Walmart. I know for a fact this is full tang because I looked at the images online. There is also the Gerber Steadfast, which is actually a little bit cheaper, but also full tang, I know that. So yeah, me personally, I would just stay away from Knife King knives. But anyways, hope you enjoyed. Take it easy.